As chairman of the pulpit committee for MCC, I first met Vince in March 9th, 1986 at Sauk Village Christian Church as we were looking at new senior pastors. In fact, I still have the original bulletin from that first meeting.
Part of the thing that I really sensed that he had was a really strong drive, a strong leadership ability.
I got to know Vince McFarland with the Wabash Valley Ministerial Association. Oh my goodness, probably 30 years ago. Knew right away that he was someone who was very committed to unity among cross-denominational lines and that sort of thing.
Well, I really got to know Vince not too long after I arrived in this area. And basically from there, a friendship grew, that has lasted for, some 21 years now.
Our history in trying to get other pastors together in Terre Haute has been a good one, especially Vince. You have really worked hard. We formed the WVMA, the Wabash Valley Ministerial Association, and ended up having a north group and a south group for prayer every Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning.
We were looking for a new church, and Pam Bennett is Lisa's best friend, and she and I went to an evening service at the church on South 7th Street, and that's how we met Vince. And he was amazing, and so I went home and told my husband he had to come and hear this guy.
3 weeks after Vince arrived in September 1986, our 12-year-old daughter Holly had back surgery at Riley Hospital. Vince arrived at 7:30 in the morning, stayed with us till 3:30 in the afternoon.
Para mí es una gran bendición haber conocido a Pastor Vicente, a su esposa Sandy.
Actually, I met Vince, but just briefly when we were in seminary at Lincoln. And so when he came to Maryland Community Church, I was kind of excited. Someone I kind of knew, someone from the same school, and we immediately met for coffee. And it was just really quick before someone was suggesting to us that we ought to do a radio program together. And for a couple of years, we did that together, and that absolutely cemented our friendship.
I don't remember the first time we met because it was so long ago. We soon discovered that we have the mutual love for our golf game, and we've had so many adventures, traditions that we've had and still have, shots that we will never forget, and directions to courses that we never remember, and somehow that's carried on. And I can't imagine in the last 25 years of having shared that with anybody else.
He has always been open to the leading of the Holy Spirit, and that has made a huge difference in my life, in the body here at Maryland, as well as in our community.
If I could tell you all the things that Vince has led, spearheaded, envisioned, but his devotion to prayer, his vision for the world, his vision for the city, he cared more about the city than I did when he first came, and that was crazy.
Vince has always had a real sense of being able to minister, being a leader's leader, being able to minister to other pastors, not from a position of superiority in any sense whatsoever, but as a colleague and as a contemporary.
Many people would think because he was pastor of a congregation of that size that he would be well within his rights just to concentrate on, just ministry in Maryland, which I'm sure would be daunting enough, but he didn't stop there. Reaching into our communities and whatnot as well, because there are a lot of people in this area who are financially challenged and dealing with a lot of different issues, social issues, justice issues or whatever, and Vince was always a part of that.
Vince has always had my back, as well as all the other city pastors. Vince is a great support to our community. He's a go-to guy. He's always been a go-to guy for the mayor and for other city officials. That's just who Vince McFarland is.
You know, as mayor, I run into a lot of issues and things, and it's always just good to have a place like Maryland to point people towards, and knowing that they're going to be there on the other end to help the community be successful and individuals to be successful. And so I've just applauded that and appreciated that all these years.
And it's amazing how Vince would just put the key people in key places at the right time.
He took a church and changed it. He did it with patience, he did it with firmness, he did it with accuracy. And in the midst of that, he did it by not focusing just on this church, but on the kingdom.
Brother, you're a most unusual blend of accomplished administrator and master teacher that I have personally known. A Maryland Community Church would not, in my opinion, exist as it now does, where it does, and the influence that it the scale of influence that it has, apart from the investment of your gifts and leadership.
Every morning at the McFarland house, it was expected that you were at the breakfast table at 7 a.m. and you started your day off with, I think a lot of times was our daily bread, a short devotional and breakfast and a prayer, and we were on our way. But that has been something that I'll always remember.
I would say the biggest impact was when he moved us here to Terre Haute 30 years ago. I remember locking myself in the bathroom because I did not want to move. I was in 6th grade, right? The fact that you guys still were faithful, Mom and Dad, and that you picked us up and followed after God's call has made the biggest impact.
The biggest thing that Dad impacted on me in my own fatherhood now was showing grace, mercy, wisdom, and unconditional love in all aspects of my life. Never once, whenever I got into a hurdle, road bump, down in a deep valley, Dad always had wisdom, compassion, caring and understanding to get through that obstacle.
My librarian wife has got me to read a lot of books, but nothing compared to the number of books that, Vince, you got me to read. I really appreciate that. That's made a difference in my theology and my belief in my walk with the Lord. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinny, for being a friend, a cohort, a vision caster, somebody who allowed me personally to try things and to do things, and always continued to challenge my intellect, my heart, my soul.
Thank you, Vince, as a fellow pastor in our area, for getting us together, making us grapple with some of the issues that, not that divide us, but that hold us together. Relationship with Christ and discipleship. And Terre Haute is a better place because of your leadership.
Well, Vince, I want to thank you for your friendship and your leadership for the past 21 years, at least. I personally value the friendship that we've had. And, you know, at times, you know, when I go through different things, whether financial, personal, whatever, with our church or with myself, you know, you were a friend who could be counted on. And you always have been that. And but that's just the kind of person you are. That's the kind of person that God has made you.
Vince, thanks for living up to that phrase, I've fought the good fight, I've kept the faith, because you have.
I just want to thank you personally, Vince and Sandy both, for just being, you know, partners with me and my family for many, many years, and just seeing the positive things that have happened at the church. I attribute a lot of that to you personally.
And Vince, we want to thank you for your leadership and your dedication here at Maryland, and we just thank you, and we love you, Vince.
Thank you, Vince.
Thank you,
you for
Vince.
everything. You've been an anchor for us through some very rough times.
Cuando me tomé una foto con el pastor Vicente, yo la guardo en mi casa. Yo no veo a dos pastores, yo veo a dos hermanos que tenemos la misma visión.
Vince, there is no way that I can possibly repay you for all that you have done for Kim and I personally, for our ministry, Harvest Prayer Ministries, and for what I see that you have done here at Maryland and the church around the world. Thank you.
So thank you, Vince, for being my dear friend, and now a new chapter for your life. Remember that even Jesus rested for a while. So for 4 months, practice on relaxing. That's not going to be easy for you. Then come back and explain to the rest of us how to do it. Then rejoin the efforts in raising Terre Haute to a genuinely higher ground.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for loving us unconditionally, leading by example, and just serving others daily.
Thank you for your faithfulness, Dad, your faithfulness to the church, your faithfulness to Mom and your marriage. Thank you for your faithfulness to our family.
Thank you for all that you have provided us McFarland kids. Your love, your mercy, your compassion, just the ability to not only be our father, but to be a pastor to Maryland Community Church, and all that has meant for all the years.